This presentation is the reintroduction of the gray wolf to the Northeast United States of America, presented by Cristiana Scaglione for the Environmental Management Master's class through the American Public University. The topic of this proposed plan is species reintroduction, specifically of the gray wolf to the northeastern region of the United States from Maine to Pennsylvania. This presentation will cover stakeholder groups, vision statement, and overarching goals for this proposed environmental management plan of the gray wolf reintroduction. The main stakeholder groups include ranchers and farmers, hunters, the general public that resides in the Northeast, environmental organizations, and the state and federal wildlife management, such as state and national forests, and the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Services. Each group, like any, has their own motive behind their decisions to be for or opposed wolf reintroduction, and each group is not unanimous. For example, in a study done in Colorado, ranchers and hunters both tend to be split in their views, with a slight lean towards pro, about 69.5% for ranchers and 66.1% for hunters. The general public would most likely be in favor of wolf reintroduction when examining the same survey in Colorado. About 84% of Coloradans would be in favor of reintroduction, and this was similar in rural, suburban, and urban settings. Because the Northeast has similar population distribution and political leanings, it's likely that the Northeast would have the same attitude towards the topic. Environmental organizations and state and federal wildlife management services would likely be in favor simply because of the kind of conservation work they do. The vision for this proposed plan is to successfully reintroduce the gray wolf back to the northeastern region of the United States, and through this reintroduction, experience a top-to-bottom ecological reboot. Currently in the Northeast, overgrazing is becoming a serious threat to native species, both flora and fauna, along with a higher than average deer-related car accident rate. This is due to the overpopulated deer species that reached unhealthy levels after the extermination of the gray wolf over a century ago. The goal of this plan is first to establish the wolf population in the Northeast. The objective for this goal is to rehome a wolf pack to the region with close monitoring for the first 2 years, using both observable and GPS tracking data by chipping the wolves prior to their release. The second goal is to naturally reduce the number of deer-related car accidents and fatalities due to deer overpopulation. The objective of this goal is to manage a predator species, the gray wolf, that will naturally lower the deer population through hunting to a healthy capacity. Observing and recording the estimated deer population will be required for 2 years. The final goal is to bring native species, both flora and fauna, back to the area and generate a healthier ecosystem. The objective of this goal is to discourage overgrazing of the native vegetation by controlling the overgrazing source, the overpopulated deer. This can be done by introducing a predator species. After monitoring the grown and reestablished rates of native vegetation, further monitoring of the native fauna species that return will be required for 2 years. The information for this presentation came from the following sources: